Hello, 5th grade students and teachers. It is Monday, November 2nd, 2009, and I am not in class with you today. So I wanted to present you with a little bit of a video to explain to you what the next project is that you start today, the groups that you'll be working in, the tools that you're going to be using, and just explain the rules for using a wiki, which is the tool that we're going to be using this time. So the first thing that I want you to know is that many of you were students here in 4th grade last year, which means that you already used PB Wiki, what it used to be called, and it's now called PB Works, to plan and research and gather information for some place marks that you made in Google Earth. Last year you did the missions of California. This year you're going to work in groups again, and each group is going to be assigned a different explorer from the famous Age of Exploration. But before we start talking about Google Earth, we need to talk about PB Works. That's the wiki that we're going to be using. After you finish watching this video, I've provided a link to another video that I want your teachers to show you, and it's called Wikis in Plain English. That video gives a really easy to understand explanation of what a wiki is, how it works, and why we use it, and it'll help you to understand what you're going to be doing. For now, you just need to know that it's a space that I'm setting up for you that you and your partners can use to collaborate in one place. And the best part is, since it's a wiki, it lives online, and you can access it from anywhere you can get online. So if you miss school, you can go ahead and log into the wiki, and you can still see what you need to see. And you can even edit and make changes to what's there. So of course, a tool that's as powerful as that has some rules that go along with it. So up here on the screen, I'm going to show you the Wiki Acceptable Use Policy, what I call the Wiki AUP. Now, if you were a student at the school last year in 4th grade, then I already have a form on file for you, and you don't have to get it signed again. However, if you're new to the school this year, or if you came in later in the year last year and didn't do the Wiki project, you will need to get a copy of the paper signed by you and your parents and bring it in by next Monday. Let's take a moment to go over what you need to understand about using a wiki. These are the rules that the Wiki AUP covers. You can only make changes to your group's page. You're only going to put in information for this project. You have to cite all sources of information and images. You're not going to tell other people, except maybe your parents, how to find the wiki. And if anybody's doing something they're not supposed to do, you'll let a teacher know right away. Now, there is one exception to that first rule. You are allowed to leave a note in another group's wiki if you're leaving them information about how to find some useful resource that you found for them. So read the document carefully before you sign it. So now that we've covered what the Wiki AUP talks about and what you've agreed to by signing it, let's talk about the project. If you've already logged into your computer, you're going to need to log out because you might be moving. We're going to put you in groups, and I've assigned the groups already, and please remember that when you are moved to a group, you need to not react in a negative way. In fact, it's best if you just don't react at all. You just go to where your group is supposed to be sitting. So your teacher's going to take some time to reorganize you into the groups, and you're going to be sitting there after we get this video done. Once you're in your groups, you're going to begin researching, and your job for your explorer is to find out where was he born, where did he die, and when and where did two very important events take place in between his birth and his death. Most of these explorers are known for a very important or famous voyage, although some had more than one. You're going to start by marking in Google Earth the place where the explorer was born. You'll also need to know when that happened. Then you'll mark another place in Google Earth, and that's going to be where did the explorer set off to begin his most famous journey. The third place that you're going to mark in Google Earth is the place and the date of the most important discovery or development or voyage or something in that explorer's career as an explorer. And finally, the fourth place that you're going to mark is where the explorer died. But before we can start marking these places in Google Earth, we have to find out when these things took place. We need to get some more information, and we need to also find a picture for each one. So we're going to be conducting some research. You're going to find out today who your group members are and which explorer has been assigned to your group. I'm also going to show you what the PB Works page is going to look like that you're going to use to gather your research information. So you'll have an idea of the kinds of things that you need to find out about each place that you intend to mark. I've got some good books in the classroom that you can use, and our school library has a whole lot more books. Later this week, I'll check out a bunch of books from our school library and give them to the teacher who has that explorer assigned to their class. It's also a good idea, if you can, to get other resources from the public library, like a library book about your explorer or about explorers in general that talks about your explorer a bit. I have some books and 2 really big, good books that most of your explorers will be found in. So we'll have plenty of books to look from. We're also going to use websites for information, but we have to be careful which websites we use. We want to make sure that they're not telling us information that's not accurate. And finally, we're going to find pictures, but that's not important right now, and I'm going to dedicate almost a whole class period to talking about where you're allowed to look for pictures and get pictures from, and how we'll be able to include them in our work. So the first step, after you find out who's in your group and what explorer has been assigned to your group, is to locate those 4 places. Remember, where was your explorer born? From where did he set off on his most important voyage? What was the site of his greatest accomplishment or achievement or discovery? And where did he die? Each of your groups has 2 or 3 members, so each of you is going to have plenty of work to do finding out this information. Also, it's very important that each member of the group does an equal share of the work. You will get a chance later to evaluate yourself and the other member or members of your group and tell me how well they did the job of sharing the work equally. But right now, let's take a look at the PB Works page. I'll show you one of the Explorer pages so you can see how you're going to fill in the information that you need. As you can see from looking at this list of pages on the Wiki, I've already set up a research page for each of the explorers. In fact, it goes on to another page. But just to give you an idea of what your page is going to look like, let's just look at the Explorer Research template. For each of the 4 places, you're going to have to find out the location, the coordinates, which I can help you with, the date he visited that place, or in the case of birth or death, the date he was born or died there. You're going to have an image, and then you need to explain why this place is important. You also mention your explorer by name. So for example, on my Prince Henry the Navigator research sample, you can see, ignore the part that says 5, but you can see his place of birth was Oporto, Portugal. I have to add the coordinates still. His date of birth is here. Here's an image as well as where I got it from. Here's a different image if I want to use that. And I didn't write in yet why this was important. But somewhere in here I thought I did. Oh, maybe I didn't yet. I'll have to add some and change some on here. But those are the kinds of things that you're going to be finding out about your explorer, and you're going to be editing the Wiki page to put that information in there. So that's what PB Works looks like, and that's what you're going to be doing once you start doing your research. For right now, I'm going to have your teachers move you into your new groups. Those are going to be your seats for a while now, and you're going to watch the other video, Wikis in Plain English, so that you can have an idea of how wikis work, and then you can start doing some research and seeing what you can find out about your explorer. Have a great day. Okay, so here's the list of the explorers and which students in each class are assigned to which explorer. Teachers, you may want to pause the video while this is showing so that you can move the students into groups as you desire. When you're all done with this video, you can go back to the page that got you here, and you can click on the link for the other video, which will show students Wikis in Plain English. Press pause now or go back to the page that got you here and open the file.